Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, I'm probably back sooner than I anticipated because the postman has just arrived and he's brought something in great anticipation. It has to be a kit, I'm sure of it. I genuinely haven't opened this box at all. I've done nothing to it apart from bring it into before their cameras. But I think that this calls for a bit of a drinking. This is becoming a bit of a theme recently. Maybe I've become an alcoholic. No, I'm just celebrating something here. Some of you will have noticed on my previous videos that there's been one or two during the summer months, especially around June, July, August. Occasional, very short, literally 10, 20-second videos where we have an aircraft flying around above us, and I'm hoping, I don't know, but I am hoping, fingers crossed, that this is a model of that aircraft, which it's probably not the normal subjects that I would go for, to be honest, but because I feel I've got a relationship with this plane. She keeps bombing around over us at very low level, slightly worrying, and it's become a regular sort of part of our lives here. So we shall see in the fullness of time. In the meantime, I'm going to say cheers to the manufacturer of this particular kit, and it's a manufacturer I've had a bit of a, I wouldn't say stormy relationship with because that would be over exaggerating, but a bit of a mixed relationship with them. They've produced some really nice kits I've made, and they've also produced some real dogs, and I'm afraid that two of the worst I've ever made in terms of build has been done by them, so that's not a very good thing to have on their CV, and consequently it's a bit of a love-hate relationship really. So I'm hoping that they've turned a bit of a corner, and they did turn a corner about 2-3 years ago with several of their kits that came out, including a Hawker Hunter. They did a very nice Wellington bomber, several others that have sort of crept out, but then they've also released ones that everybody's highly anticipated and hasn't quite hit the mark, and there's been several examples where very nice kits have been produced with good instructions, in fairness, but they haven't always been very accurate. There's always been something kind of obvious that's let them down, and it's usually been issues to do with research and perhaps going to museums and scanning with a LiDAR scanner to get the actual design of the aircraft, but not realising that the one they're scanning isn't exactly totally representative of the one that they're trying to represent. In other words, it's a Frankenstein museum aircraft, for example. It's not just aircraft either. It happened also with a very recent release of theirs. But anyway, you didn't come here to hear me ramble or see me drinking. It's outrageous. On with the show. So, the postman's been, what am I thinking of? I think you might enjoy this. It's less than usual style box, I have to say, so we need to open it. Let's see what we have in here. The anticipation, it must be killing you, but of course you all know from the thumbnail, even though I'm being very evasive about telling you what it is. You already know, but I do it in a manner. Oh, wait a minute, I'm still not in. What's the deal here? Is it going to open for us or not? Yes, it is. Oh, okay. Well, this is a proper unboxing, isn't it? Complete outer. Oh, here we go. There's more, there's more, there's more. Packing list, very good. Oh, it's very well packed, I've got to say. This is excellent packaging. This has come directly from the manufacturer themselves. And I have quite a bit of work to do to get into this, so please bear with me. Yeah, this is a better pack than I remember their previous releases. Come on, let me in. Anticipation, it's killing you, isn't it? It's killing me as well. I'm going to struggle to get this out, I can see. It's a nice bubble wrap, I can reuse that when I sell it, if it's rubbish. Oh, I'm joking, just a joke. Kidding you. God, it doesn't want to come. It doesn't want to come out. I'm going to release it this way. Like so. Come on, you can do it. Oh. It's like watching Phil Flory battle with an ICM kit, is it? No, it's not just Phil Flory, is it? Let's be fair. They're a nightmare, those ICM kits. They're really difficult to get into. Come on, come on. With my wraith sword on it. Lightsaber, you know. Is it going to let me or not? Come on, come on. Come on, you're pretty much clear now. It's just tight and it doesn't want to release. It's coming. It's coming slowly. It is coming. Exhausted. When do I have a drink? Jeez. I thought it was not quite champagne, but worth a drink to celebrate this one. I think it might be finally giving up its treasure in the depths. It's really tight. I mean, they've done an excellent job, fair to say, you know, because that's what you want. You don't want to. I've had so many of these arrive all bashed to hell, and you know, damage. If there's any damage to this, it's probably damage I'm doing, right now. It doesn't want to come out. It doesn't. It says no. Can't be making a YouTube video like this. Come on. Hey! We have it. Was there another note in there? Offering me an invitation perhaps to Margate for tea and sandwiches and beer. No, it isn't. Oh, we can live in hope, can't we? See, people say I'm bitter because they didn't invite me for tea and sandwiches. Not a bit of it. We shall see. We'll see. Hey! It's the AVRO ANSON Mk.1 from Airfix. Yes! Now we've been waiting for this. Now look at that. It's got some lovely artwork. A little bit of a bastard. That's probably what I've just done, trying to fight it out. Okay, so here we go. Something completely brand new tool. I'm told it's got the new plastic they promised me. And as I say, I have a particular interest in this aircraft because one flies around that's been restored and actually operates out of Slate Airfield in Shropshire. And the owner of that, I understand, also owns the Yak-11 Russian fighter, well, Soviet fighter, which is a nice plane actually. So let's zoom you in and let's get straight into this. No messing about. 2022 new tool, the very latest from Airfix. Let's see what they can do this time. So we've got a little bit of a nice artwork here with an ME109, BF109E getting taste of their own medicine here, as you can see in the artwork, where the gun turret, the ball turret on top is shooting back and has let him have it, as you can see. Excellent. Take that. And then we've got a little bit of a write up here, and we've got here, it says, oops, you should probably make it out yourselves. On the 1st of June 1940, while on patrol over the Dunkirk evacuation beaches, Pilot Officer Peters and his crew were attacked by BF-109s. Amazingly, they shot down 2 of the 109s, damaging another, and returned to base unscathed. Peters was awarded the DFC for his action. Oh, that's incredible. That must have been the Anson's finest hour. That's truly impressive. Anyway, you've been waiting for this. Let's get into it. So it is their Airfix product code AO9191. There's nothing on the back. Over on the side, we've got a nice write-up. Okay, let's go with it then. It says, some nice art as well here. It says, when it entered service with 48 Squadron at RAF Manton in March 36, the AVRO Anson became the first monoplane type to achieve squadron service status, and this was also the first RAF aircraft to receive a retractable undercarriage. Whoa. The RAF Anson Mk.1 was equipped with a fixed forward firing 303 machine gun operated by the pilot and a single Lewis gun mounted in the manually traversed dorsal turret. Okay. It could also be equipped with a modest bomb load, something which was required for submarine hunting aircraft operated by Coastal Command. Despite the fact the RAF entered the Second World War with 26 squadrons equipped with Ansons, they were basically obsolete as a fighting machine and quickly withdrawn to secondary training roles, a task for which Faithful Annie was particularly well suited. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, many thousands of aircrew destined for service with Bomber Command will be trained in the UK and overseas in the Anson. There you go. Now then, we have got here a whole selection of different options. So we've got number one, Philip Peters, the one we just talked about, and his leading aircraftsman Pepper, number 500 County of Kent Squadron, and they're based at Detling in Kent. Shot down the two BF-109s on the 1st of June 1940. Then we've got the Coastal Command Trials Aircraft, number 71 Squadron of the Royal Australian Air Force in Queensland. And then we've got the Training Command Anson 31 Reconnaissance School, Royal Canadian Air Force, Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island in Canada in 1941. So you can see our friends at Airfix down there in Margate. Being very crafty, aren't they? They're giving schemes for all the critical markets for their product, which is fair enough, no problem at all with that, all legitimate, and why not. So let's get into it. So as you know, this is brand new. It takes so long to get through the outer packaging. I think the inner is going to be fairly straightforward. Ready. That's it, let's go. Looking forward to this, and I'm hoping that Airfix is going to make a gem of this. Come on, you can do it. So, first of all, we have a clear part sprue in a bag. We've got two sprues in another bag. At least it's not everything thrown into one bag like we usually do. Then we have got two more large sprues in this bag, two small sprues in this bag, and then we've got our instructions, which we will eventually all read of. Right? Well, we've just sort of heard we've heard the basic history. So one thing that should be noted about these, and I'm sure it'll say here, I do like the way that Airfix do this, by the way, they give you a bit of history, which is so lacking in so many of the Far Eastern kits. But the Anson was it was plywood, combination. There was aluminium, there was plywood, and there was canvas. Very much the style in the mid 1930s. Think of the Hurricane similar, which was a mixture. And does it give you that detail? Designed to possess greater range and endurance than the expected. Okay. Anyway, we'll get cracking on with actually looking at it, because I want to see the kit, don't we? Really? So we've got colour call-out sheets, which we'll look at in a second. We've got some decals, which look good. Let's look at them first, and I will zoom you in so you get a nice clear look at this. Okay. I'm just going to move those because we know we'll have focus trouble if we don't. So, decals. Here we go. They are cartograph decals. I know that because it says it on the box. And I have to say, those are really, really nice. They're in this sort of a glossy, gloss to semi-gloss finish. They've got some, as you can see, some instrumentation there. That's nice. That's very cool. And then we've got quite a few stencils along the top. Various squadron markings, our Aussie markings here, and over here. And then we've got the UK two squadrons, the Coastal Command and the RAF in the middle. They look very, very nice. There's an absolute minimal carrier film on them, I have to say. Very, very nice finish to those. Beautiful, in fact. That's a great start. I'm impressed with those immediately. Then we have our colour call-out. So in this case we have got the Canadian version, which is in almost like a kind of desert scheme, but it's got the yellow training colours underneath. But it's got an unusually low-key colours, although it was typical, of course, in the mid-30s. They had this sort of, what colour do they call it? They say it's matte dark green, dark earth. Maybe it's the way they printed it. It looks like almost like two browns. I don't know if it looks the same on camera, but it's quite quite a low-key green. I think it's the green that's striking me as being off. Anyway, you've got all the colour call-outs there. You've got stencils being shown clearly. Help with things like the inner wing section, and clearly showing the area that you've got to put those decals in. Then we've got a rigging diagram, because this aircraft has a little bit of rigging, interestingly. still in the days of rigging. I think mostly aerials, to be honest, but yes, you can see it here. Hope that's coming out on the camera okay. And that's nicely done, I've got to say, so that's very, very good. Then we have got the option of the Royal Air Force, and this is the one that's covered on the box art. The Detling based aircraft in number 500 County Kent Squadron, and this one's got silver underneath, so I'm not sure who thought that was a particularly good idea. It's a very interwar style thing, isn't it? And again, you've got all your colours mapped out: trainer yellow, dark earth, matte black, gunmetal, etc. On the other side we've got our Aussie friends, and they've got a much more convincing green, haven't they? So they've got matte dark green, which is approximate to RAAF foliage green, which was the official colour. But it's certainly a more striking green than what the RAF were using. And then you've got this rather interesting matte white at the side, which is curious. And then you have in fact got the silver underneath again, so the silver was very popular. Coastal Command camouflage trials at Lowood, Queensland. It's very nice, isn't it? Great presentation there, Airfix. I'm impressed with that. That's good so far. So far, all good. Now then, instructions. Let's have a look at these. Zoom you in. Have a good old look. So, starting building up, as you might expect, the sort of central cockpit area. You've got your seats going in here. Seats in two parts. I'm not sure I like that as a concept. You can have a seam down the middle. Maybe that was part of the design. It does show the seam, interestingly, in the finished part here. I don't know if you can see that. That's curious, isn't it? Very odd. Then you've got your co-pilot seat going in as well, and then we have got, what's that, 6? Not sure. Are they decals? Decals, yes. Instrumentation? Not sure what that is. Interesting. See that? Yeah, it's rather odd, isn't it? You've probably seen it better than my eyes can see at this range. So you're building up this internal cockpit area, then you're going to put in the main spar for the wing. I'll zoom you out, that might help. Main wing spar here. And then we've got some of this sort of framework construction that builds up the centre area, sort of strengthening frames that are around the cockpit area in the central section of the aircraft. Got your yokes going in, and then you've even got, look at this, it's a map table. Look at this, that's awesome. I think the Airfix might have pulled the stops out here. Look, a map table and a lamp. Oh, that's excellent, isn't it? I love it. That's for the navigator chap behind. Then over on this side we've got various parts of the cockpit sides going in, including the oxygen bottles, back of the instrument panel, instruments themselves going in here, and then we've got the again several decals where you've got radio equipment, etc. going in. So there's a lot of this is used for, I used it for spy work as well until the Lysander came along. As well as training, so it's very much a multi-role aircraft. And then over here we've got this looks like the radio system, the whole radio communication system going in here, and then being dropped in, and a bit more framework on the other side coming in. Zoom you out a bit. And then we've got the lattice work framework going over the top, over the sort of ceiling of the aircraft here. Yeah, and it's in multiple stages. So I've got to say there's not a lot of writing here from Airfix. I'm not sure why that is, but I think they like to make it so it's almost multilingual by not putting too much English in there. And then again, we've got various little bits of detail on the sort of rear bulkhead here, going in with paintwork to be done. And you've got the sides of the main sort of area between the top of the aircraft and the bottom of the cockpit. And here we've got the cockpit now as an assembled piece comes in, and it shows you exactly how the fitment. There's some good clarity here. They're showing you this is almost Zokimura like, isn't it? Good detail about how it should look, what's right and what is wrong, what's right and what is wrong with the spar. So that's quite helpful. Shows you basically how things fit together and how they butt up to each other correctly and incorrectly. That's very helpful. So now we're building up the gun position for the gunner with his Lewis gun. I think it's a Lewis gun, this one, and he's got like a ring gun mount. So you're building that up and attaching it to a bulkhead, and then that's going in upside down. Then you're building up the other side of the cockpit, a little window to go in as well, and then you're finally bringing your two fuselage halves together. And again, once again, more great detail from Airfix showing you how it should and should not look in terms of the wing spar position relative to the forward and the central spars, how they should be positioned. Very, very helpful. Again, very, very pictorially illustrated to make it dead clear for you, and how the spar should actually appear at the top, and exactly where the parts actually meet together. Very, very helpful, and very, very like a Zokimura kit, and perhaps not as detailed, but has the same concept. Then we've got the top of our fuselage coming in here, and then you've got the top of the ball turret that's going to go in, the aperture for it, and then there's like a window at the top here. Then we're putting the underside of the fuselage, and you see the sort of stressed skin sort of fabric over the members, the spars. And then we move on to the tail. And at the tail we've got elevators and tailplane, showing again here exactly how they go in and how the elevators are positioned relative to the top of the horizontal stabiliser, which fits over it, which is quite interesting as a design. Then we have got some more detail that's going in the central area. Yes, no, sorry, it's the nacelles. Building up the nacelles, the structure of the nacelles for the engines. This is quite intricate again. It's going to be quite a long build, this, I think. It's not a quick one. I mean, what did this retail for? I think it was £47, I think it was. This is direct from Airfix on this occasion. And you seem to be getting quite a lot for your money, though. I think it's fair. You're building up these nacelles, forward bulkheads for the engines to be mounted onto, and then you're building up the lower part of the wing, that's got the nacelles built into them, and then you bring the top part of the wing in as a cover over it there, on both sides. And then you sort of bring in a cover. Not sure if I like this. They've got a left and right hand cover here for these nacelles, and this is like looking at it from underneath, in fact. I'm not sure I like the idea of that because it's going to have a join, but anyway. And then we've got our elevators going on the wing, and then we start building up our engines. You see all the cylinders there, and the sort of exhaust system, fuel system, valve system going in. I'm not sure, was it the Wasp engine? I can't remember what the engine was. I think it's the same one that was in the Lysander, to be honest, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that's been having its cooling system going in here at the front, and the pods that go over the magnetos, I think that is, those like a fairing covers the magnetos, and you sort of step and repeat that several times for all the little different sections. Again, multiple sections. Could give it some joins, I'm not sure about that, but anyway, looks all very neat. It joins together nicely, it'll be fine, I'm sure. And then you're doing the same on both sides, so it's a step and repeat again. Then you're bringing in these engines finally, and you're mounting them onto those front of those nacelles on the wing. You're putting your rudders together, two sides of the rudder, bringing that in, and then we get to the glass work. Now this is one of the challenges of this kit. The Anson has lots of glass, and you're going to need a masking set for sure. And then there are decals on the inside of the door. There's quite a lot of glass, heck of a lot of windows. It must have been like a greenhouse in here. On a hot day in summer of 1940, which was known to be a good summer in the UK, must have been very warm indeed. And there's even there's a clear section in the nose. The nose here, that nose tip section, is actually clear part, and the idea is it's got several little windows in it, so they're making the whole thing clear part, so you then mask off those windows, spray it all as per the rest of the kit, and you end up with perfect little windows. It's a great idea. I think they've got that from others like Tamiya, haven't they? Good design. Then we've got various cooling vents, and then we've got the wheels and tyres, which are split, which I'm a bit disappointed to see that really. I would have thought that Airfix would have moved on to a one-piece moulding for these. You always end up with a join, and this is why people go to resin. So that's the first disappointment. Not a major problem, but you know, come on. I think that they are all one piece per side at least. That you haven't got. Although that's not a good thing either, is it? Because it makes it harder to spray. You've got to mask it off. Whereas if they had the hub separate and then a one-piece wheel and tyre, then you can, you know, spray it so much easier. But anyway, and this has got it's the first retracting undercarriage. It's a very simple sort of undercarriage design. Just sort of drops down and protrudes ever so slightly. The tyres do. And then you're fixing those in there with the undercarriage legs. Then you've got your tail wheel going in, and the pitos and various aerials as well going in underneath here. So we're up to stage 98 in the build. That's a lot of stages. Stage 99, and this is putting in all your final aerials and high frequency aerial, low frequency aerial, airspeed indicators, and etc, etc. Step 100, wow. Your air screws, your propellers are going on there, just twin props, twin screw. And then you're building up, finally, you build up the ball turret for the gunner on the mid-upper turret. I say mid-upper, it's the only upper, isn't it? That looks really nice actually, that looks really good. As long as you mask it well, you should be absolutely fine. Bringing your halves in there, you've got your Browning 303, same as you get in the Spitfire Hurricane going in there. Yeah, and 108 stages in total. Okay, well, I have to say it does look very nice. My only reservations are we've got quite a lot of joins, side by side joins, and those undercarriage, which is a bit, would have liked to have seen that slightly different, done a slightly different way. I understand that this particular kit has been, it's not Paramagit this time, it's Matt Whiting that's designed this one at Airfix, so let's see his work, see what we think of it. And I shall be very, very honest and open and fair, I promise. So, let's go, no messing. At least to give you quite a generous bag, so it's easy to sort of reseal them later. Starting off with the drink actually, because I think I've earned it. Quite hard work, isn't it? This has actually got a lot more to it than I imagined, because I thought £47 seems a lot of money, but probably not. Probably not. Let's see what we have. It's all about the plastic. Well, first of all, first thing that hits you is it's this new harder grey, dark grey plastic, which is in fairness so much superior to that pale blue, plasticine-y, blue tacky type stuff that they used to use. So let's have a really careful, take our time look at these now. So we've got a sprue E, this is we're opening first, and E is all the engine parts. You've got all the cylinders, and you've got various components that go around the engine, the cowlings, even the propellers, the air screws. And I have to say, from where I'm sitting, these look really rather nice. They do look really, really good. They're very clean, can't see any flash. Not at this range with my glasses anyway. Very nicely moulded, looks quite sharp. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, and I've just realised it's two of the same, so we have a duplicate there. So that's E. Let's put that aside and zoom you back so you're not looking at absolutely nothing. That's a good start though. The plastic quality, yes, it's definitely harder than we've got used to from Airfix when they've been through this phase coming in from India. Just check where it's manufactured actually. I think it is India. Yeah, made in India, so it's been tooled probably, maybe tooled in the UK, I don't know, but it's certainly been injection moulded in India. Cartograph decals, Italy obviously. So it's not like, I think it was the Buccaneer, which I think was actually done in the UK. And I have a feeling that the 24 scale Spitfire might also be done in the UK. It doesn't matter, you know, we don't mind where it's made as long as it's done really well. So far so good. Next one, I think we'll do the clear parts again. We've got this big bag, some really big pieces in here. This has got wings, etc. So let's get into that. I've been quite looking forward to this. I'm just trying not to get too excited in case I am disappointed again, which has happened a few times, especially with our friends here from Margate. Sometimes they do make a cracking kit though, and you never know quite what to expect from them. So, well, I've got to say, first thing is that the plastic, the parts, the wings are quite thin. I can see light through them. My lamp I use here on the desk, I can see the light through the skin. I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to be impressed. Check this out. He says, get the camera to work, it might impress you. Oops, he drops it, which is not very clever. Now then, what have we got here? Perhaps that's a bit too much soon. We've got, that's the underside of the wing, and we have this beautiful stressed skin effect. Of course it's stressed skin because it's canvas. Canvas and plywood mainly, in different parts of the aircraft. I don't think the wings were metal. I don't think they were. I think they were probably metal spar members, etc. But I don't think the skin was metal. So this is like, and look, you see it here. Look at that. This reminds me of the sort of border model canning effect on the Lancaster, or the previous Airfix Typhoon, which had this beautiful stressed skin effect. That is very, very beautiful. Look at the detail on the hatches, etc. And you've got the stressed skin underneath, where it's fabric over plywood, and that again looks quite sublime, you know. Over on the other side, same, but the opposite wings obviously. So more stressed skin. That has been really, really well designed. Look at that. Now this is a £47 kit, so I think that this is a real step up for Airfix. Huge improvement in the sort of quality, especially at this sort of price level. That's very, very impressive. I love it. Yes, that's a lovely sprue. I'm impressed. Just going to sneak that back in its bag for 1 second, if you just bear with me. There we go. Let's have a look at the fuselage sprue, which is over here. Whoops. We'll bring you out a bit so you can get a bit of a perspective on the actual size of the sprue. It's a big sprue, big old sprue. Now look at this, again we've got more of this stressed skin coming in, so let's have a closer look. Oh yes. Now then, how about that? That's very, very nice, isn't it? Yeah. There's a cannon, isn't there? Cannon? I think I might say that. Machine gun anyway. And then you've got the stressed effect on the area around the ball turret on the roof. And again on the underside. And then you've got your tail plane, and again you've got this very mild, very subtle stressing effect. Can you see it? That's really, really good. There you see it there, look at that. And here. Yes, that's been really well conceived. Then we've got our sort of floor of the cockpit area, and then we've got some of this lattice work that's the framework at the side of the cockpit. I notice Airfix have gone a little bit Zokimura here again, because they've gone and got these little pips that are to avoid ejector pins. They've got little, basically ejector pin pips that you cut off. It means a bit fiddly work, but it's not as bad as trying to remove ejector pins, that's for sure. And then we've got another bit of framework over on this side. And then you've got that great big spar that runs across there. Well, that's a really, really nice sprue. And again, like the other one, the wings, this looks really nice. You can see also, by the way, I missed it here, but you can see here again that they have gone for these ejector pin lugs that you cut off here. So you're going to cut those off. Again, it avoids any ejector pin, although they have got a couple of them, I have to say, not in a visible position. Let's see if I can show you this. Can you see here? There are some ejector pin marks here, but I don't think they're in a position that's going to be visible. So they haven't got away with them completely. Again, over here, 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 here. There's quite a few, but they're trying to minimise it, as you can tell. Okay, I think that we just give them the benefit of the doubt. They probably worked out, Mr. Whiting will have worked out where to put them and where not to put them, for sure, which is fine. So that's nice, very impressed with that sprue. Now, another big one. And then we've got all manner of things. And so we've got two different sprues. So we've got, again, some more of this beautiful stressed skin. Look at this. I told you it was going to be a good one, this. I had a good feeling about this kit. Now look at this. See the stressed effect? Subtle, very subtle, but it's there. Again, on the rudder and the elevators, more stressed. I thought that was a sink mark then, but it's not a sink mark, it is the stressed effect, deliberately there, for sure. And then we've got various parts of the engines again, the engine exhaust and cooling rings, etc. Then we've got some of the internal structure that goes along the cockpit side, and we've got these wheels. Now this is the one thing I'm not that wild about. Now they have got weight on wheels, which is good. If you look, you can see they're flat here, this side. So they've done that well. I'm just not sure about what the join's going to be like, which I would have preferred to see it done differently, to be honest. And then over here we've got those covers where those magneto covers go on the engine cowlings. And then we've got various small parts and bits of the gear, etc. We've got our tail wheel there. A nice sprue, beautifully flash free. It doesn't look like an Airfix sprue to me. looks better than I've come to expect, really, from them. So that's great. And part of these cowlings around the engine, we've got bulkheads here. Again, some nice detail, look. Tools on the bulkhead here, like tools like winding gear, looks like. Various small parts of the undercarriage, and then we've got our machine guns here, Lewis and Browning. That's nice. Very well figured. And then over this side we've got all these small parts like the pitot heads and various aerials. And then we have got parts of the seats. We've got one seat in one piece there. So they've done that one in one piece, haven't they? Interestingly. I mean, there are a lot of eject pins underneath, but okay, they're not where they shouldn't be, I guess. Not a problem. Again, some nice detail of this sides of the cockpit. It's really good. It's really good. I think it's a step forward. It's a step forward. Now I haven't seen the 48 scale Buccaneer in detail. I haven't handled it because I wanted to just save it for the RAF version, which I'm sure will be coming out in the not too distant future. So everybody said that was the sort of big moment when Airfix changed to this better plastic. We've got a strange habit of the, this is the sprue and it's almost double the size it needs to be in the bag. It would be better if they made the bags a little bit more tailored, less room to wobble about and get broken. Now the clear parts. This could be a make or break, so pray for me. I'm going in. Wow, that looks really nice. That looks really especially good. Especially good. Check this out. So we've got the ball gun turret, the top turret here. That's really nice. This is the nose piece I talked about that you have to, the 3 windows, front and both sides. So you have to mask that off, and then you just spray the rest of it in the camo colour to give you your nose section. There is a window. This is a window at the front as well, a round one. Then we've got this incredible glass house area, and look at the plastic here. That's very, very nice. Yes, that's pretty good. Certainly by Airfix standards, that's very, very crisp. Excellent looking plastic. And there are 2 different options in terms of design, as you can see. So this one's slightly longer, slightly more of it. And then we've got the cockpit itself. Now look at this. That is gorgeous. My God, it needs a lot of masking now, doesn't it? You wouldn't do this without a mask. You'd be no chance getting that framing right. You wouldn't want to hand paint it, that's for sure. So here's the 2 different styles, different marks. Yes, it's interesting actually. Now the one that flies over me is a Mark II, I think. It hasn't got the turret on the mid upper area of the fuselage. And then over here we've got lots of other little windows which are on the aircraft. And of course we've got all these little portholes and bulges and mini windows and lights. That's a really nice clear part sprue, I've got to say. That's just a gorgeous thing, really. It must be Airfix's nicest clear parts I've seen so far, for sure. Well, okay, so surprisingly that's the end. It seems to have sort of come to an end very suddenly. I've got to say I'm mighty impressed. I'm mighty impressed. I often have done reviews of Airfix, and some of them, like the Victor kit, which they've just reissued by the way, if you want one, that was mighty impressive. I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was an absolute cracker. But others seem to disappoint me. Not today. I'm delighted to say that has really impressed me. That's several areas where they seem to just generally increase the quality. You know, instructions are good, the clear parts are particularly good, there's no flash, didn't notice any sink marks. Sometimes it's hard with your eyes at this range, sometimes you see on the camera or the zoom more than I do, but I didn't notice any obvious nasties. My only reservations were there's a lot of joins where they've gone side to side, which I'd like them to avoid, and also the thing with the wheels. So maybe that's a half point off. Should I knock them a half off for that? I think I have to keep an open mind, really. I think the instructions seem very good, and there's a lot of clarity there. This thing about do it this way, not this way, and showing you exactly the alignment of the parts, that's a big step forward. I feel I'd be harsh knocking them a point off for these things I've just mentioned. Maybe, I think I've got to be honest, I want to give it 10 out of 10, but I don't think I quite can, but it's certainly 9.5, and it's a big leap forward in my mind from the kits that they've been producing. I mean, even that Vulcan was a nice kit, the new Vulcan, but even that had one or two little issues in it. And as I've said a million times before, I'm not building it, I haven't built it yet. And I'll probably build it one day, because I say it flies around over my head all summer long, one of these, a version of it. I think it's 9.5 out of 10. I think that's a fair judgment, and I think Airfix, I would say to you, Matt Whiting, who designed it, well done Matt. I think that's a really cracking looking kit. I mean, some of the ones that he brought out, I mentioned Paramjit and his Buccaneer, pretty confident that's pretty much at the same level as well, but I can't give that view because I just haven't had it in my hand yet, that's all. It's so close to 10 out of 10. I think just try and sort out these joins and things like the wheels, try and make it more modeler build orientated. But that's tiny criticism. I think it's beautiful. The plastic's nice, it feels solid, it feels like it's going to probably not give nasty problems when you start using adhesive around it. It's beautiful, it's beautiful. I'm very pleased I've bought that. I've got to say, I'm proud of it already. We had the ambulance recently, which was a good kit. I think everybody agrees that, but one or two little glitches in that, kind of obvious glitches they got wrong, but this one, it looks really nice. I think they've really stepped forward. It's a winner, so I'm going to say 9.5 out of 10. I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. Give me a 10 out of 10 by smashing that like button. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are a subscriber, please ding the notification bell to get early alerts of upcoming videos in the near future. There is another very big release coming from this manufacturer very soon. I think probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks we might see that, but we'll have to wait and see. But I'm delighted to see such a nice kit from Airfix. I think they've done that design, the detail work, you know, some of the sculpturing on the panels, the way they've got the skin, really fantastic work. So congratulations to Airfix, well done guys. I'm very impressed and very delighted to give you a real positive review. Thanks very much for watching everybody. Please stay tuned, we'll have more for you in the not too distant future. In the meantime, thanks very much for joining me, take care of yourselves, thanks a lot, and bye for now.